Alright guys, so this is going to be episode 3, and I'm going to wrap up the Nexus quests here, and hopefully get us out on the EOS, so we can
This
see
file
what
is
the
useless.
real
Let's
fights
check
are going to
another.
be like in insane difficulty.
And another scrambled file.
Coincidence seems unlikely.
Let's check another. This file is also corrupted. Definitely not a coincidence. You'd need pretty high clearance to mess with the security camera files. Someone working for Candros, maybe.
That is the most probable scenario.
Think you can get enough out of the files to find a match using biometric scans, Sam?
The files were badly scrambled, but if I combine all the available identifiers, it might work. Based on the limited information available, we are looking for a human male, assigned either to the Nexus or Hyperion. You will need to conduct scans from close proximity.
Got it.
Disembarkation procedures for Hyperion are on hold. Please await further instructions.
Once I get off the Nexus, and the missions are a little less self-explanatory as far as what you have to do, what I plan on doing is including the names of all the missions as well as placements in all the videos of when and at which time I'm doing what quest or side mission, so that way you can easily skip through if you're lost or stuck, or if you just maybe encounter a bug. This way I can kind of get the word out that there might be bugs on quests. I've noticed that some players are having a huge amount of bugs. One of my friends who's been doing his playthrough has managed to get his Nomad glitched inside of a building because the outpost spawned on him. Another time he walked into the escape pod to talk to PB and glitched through the floor and continued to float in space for a good amount of time. I haven't encountered any glitches like that. I mean, I get the normal animation bugs, but whatever. I stopped noticing those an hour into my first play. But he's even getting ones where during conversations his character's head will randomly spin 360 and be facing backwards, like the Exorcist. And I really hope you guys aren't having the same issues, but some of them are pretty funny.
Is that what sabotage is called these days? Work?
You're pretty arrogant for the new kid. You don't even know what's been going on.
Proof says you've been up to no good.
Figures. Screw this. Screw all you hypocrites on this station. You weren't here when they kicked out our loved ones. Mutiny? We just wanted answers. My sister is out there. I don't even know if she's alive or...
I'm sorry for what happened, but setting explosives isn't the answer.
Neither was sending people into exile because they didn't agree with policy. I don't care what you think. The mutiny leaders were right to demand to know what was going on.
You could have hurt people. Killed them.
Like those who got killed when the leadership had the Krogan stomp on my friends? I'm done talking. I confess, it was me. Do whatever you want.
We can't let you stay on board. There's no saying what else you're capable of.
Wait, you'd let me go?
If you call exile letting you go, sure. You leave and you don't come back.
I'll leave.
There's still so much to do.
And sorry if I'm not going into a lot of detail. It's just, I feel like a lot of these missions right off the beginning on the Nexus are kind of like in your face. They show you exactly where you go and give you a pretty good description of what you need to do. So I'm just trying to get through this so that way I can get to the more interesting part of the gameplay.
Ready to see what Tan gave us?
I hear it's something special. Pathfinder en route. How's the ship?
In final checks and looking great.
We won't be long. The way things are going, we'll be on our own out there.
In other words, we're making this up as we go.
We used to call that tactical improvisation. But at least we'll be doing it in style.
I am kind of interested in seeing
They
if
call
your
her
research
the Tempest.
data carries over to the new game plus. So far, the only thing that hasn't is the cryo point research, so I'm hoping, really hoping, that it carries over research, because it wouldn't make any sense if it didn't, because otherwise there's really no way to get most stuff to level 10. So I'm hoping, really, really hoping that it carries over.
Let's go take a closer look.
Let's pick it up a bit, people. We're 14 months late. So you're the one who's making everything happen.
For those of you that
Vetra.
haven't
Vetra
tried or
Initiative
didn't know you
Wrangler,
could,
Prisoner, Gunner,
you
and
can
everything
romance
in
Vetra.
between.
It's one of the more
ready?
long haul
Sooner we get out of here,
romance
the better.
options where you kind of
You're
gotta
coming to
just
this?
wait towards the end of the game.
Yes. Otherwise, there's no way they're letting this ship off
But
the
it is
station.
pretty funny, and I would highly recommend that you at least attempt
Yeah.
it once. For
Let's go
those
see
of
the rest
you
of
who
Helios.
haven't, the story information you get out of her through the romance option is pretty hilarious, and some of the cutscenes are pretty good.
Whatever happened, it wasn't me. I just got here.
Director Addison wants to see a complete report of the Tempest's supplies, munitions, and crew.
Director Tan overruled Addison.
The ship's loaded out with equipment for outpost discovery, squarely under Director Addison's purview.
Seen you around. Ben, right? Came here with a family, didn't you? Son still in cryo? I could pull some strings, get him to the front of the line.
Really?
Yeah, really.
They told me he wasn't essential, but I miss him.
I know. I got family too, Ben.
It's done. Addison's gonna kill me.
Nicely done.
Part of the job, Pathfinder. All things considered, it was an easy ask. And right now, you need people tearing down obstacles, not putting up more.
Main reason why I decided to romance her is I've always wanted to jackhammer or chisel my way through a Turian armor-plated skin, so that was kind of my drive and motivation for that.
Everything's state-of-the-art. Labs, sensors, exploration gear. Plus her crew, of course. The best in their field.
Glad to see you're doing so well, Scott.
The engine core is based on the Ark's Odyssey drive.
It runs a hell of a lot quieter.
That's Gil Brody. Engineer, mechanic, all-around wrench jockey. We call this the research room. There's space for upgrading equipment, gathering intel.
Router engaged. Securing connection to Tempest.
Welcome aboard, Sam. And Ryder, of course.
All run by Suvi Anwar, our science officer. Your quarters are below. Plenty of space up here to get everyone together. It's all yours. She's light, stealthy, and the fastest ship in her class.
It's really gonna be something, isn't it?
I haven't even shown you the best part. When you're ready to fly, head over to the bridge. Our pilot should have everything good to go.
Better head to the bridge when we're ready to go.
We call this the research room. You can run research projects and coordinate with the Nexus from here.
Pathfinder, check this toy.
So it doesn't look like I have access to the research station yet. So I won't be able to tell you if any of that stuff carries over quite yet. This is why Apex missions are so awesome. In the 4-day little break I took between clearing the game and the new game plus, I've just compiled a massive amount of extra stuff, which I'm really hoping pays off in the long run. Before I get rolling here, I want to kind of... I'll probably be changing and resetting my skill points on a pretty regular basis till I find something that really works out well to my advantage. Let's hope I can reset it now. I can. As far as these options, I mean, they're really up to you. I have my own personal favorites. I mean, this one is great for doing extra damage, but when my preferred weapon is the Revenant, sorry. So this extra stability and accuracy really pays off more in the long run than the bonus damage, in my opinion. Going to be spending a lot of time in cover in this gameplay, even on the prologue mission, getting through Habitat 7 for the first time. A lot of time in cover. I've heard good things about Turbocharge, so I'm going to give that a wing. Don't plan on doing a lot of hovering just because of how much damage you take in this game mode. I think this is going to be pretty helpful. Considering that it'll give something for the enemies to shoot other than you and your teammates. I'm really thinking energy drain might be useful to giving me some extra survivability. All in all, I think I'm going to need some extra damage dealing as well, so this, along with its stun, might be beneficial. That one right there is going to be huge. Being able to reduce their damage, I think, is going to be pretty freaking important. Thinking that the only thing I might get out of biotics this playthrough is going to be the barrier. I think being able to give yourself that little added layer of shielding might be pretty good. I'd recommend trying to get a small array of abilities that can kind of you can rotate between, because there's going to be times where you're going to want to be able to hit armored enemies really hard and then shielded enemies really hard. So always make sure you kind of have like don't specialize. Give yourself room to maneuver. Because like I said in the previous video, you can always pause and change your abilities on the fly to compensate for whatever situation you happen to be in at the time. I'll run this initially and just see how it goes. Like I said, changing out abilities really is not all that difficult. They're all still maxed out from the last playthrough. Changing abilities on the fly is very easy. So having a wide array of different things really is not going to bother you at all. Oh, well, that's going to be unhelpful, Liam. I guess make sure you complete all of their storylines. I guess I completed it, I just never talked to him afterwards, so I guess that counts as not having finished it. I'm going to try engineer it first. It'll help my constructs do a little bit better, and I think that combat drone you get as a perk from having it equipped is going to be relatively useful in some of the tight situations. So I'll probably be switching between the infiltrator, which is the combat tech combo, and then the engineer. I'll probably go with this one most of the time, depending on how effective I think the engineer one ends up being. I just don't really like that this one doesn't give any boost to combat skills, just to damage output. So we'll see if playing a little more defensive is beneficial.
These are the Pathfinder's quarters. Your quarters. Sam's router is down there too.
This will probably take to a cutscene. Yep.
Departure trajectory locked, Nexus Control. Time for introductions. You must be Ryder, Kalojath. A pleasure to be here, and to meet you, of course. I'll be piloting the Tempest at your word. Quite the ship, but it'll take a Pathfinder's guidance to see us through Helios.
Plenty of dangers out there, but I'll do my best to avoid them.
That's reassuring. Wouldn't want to lose my finest work to that angry cloud. I was test pilot for the Tempest's early prototypes. I admit, I'm itching to see how she performs out here.
So how do I...
The console syncs with your implant. Just swipe, touch a destination here, and the nav system calculates everything. Very efficient.
It was optimized for a Pathfinder.
Everything's secure, if you're ready.
Is anyone ready for something this big?
I guess we have to be.
All right. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Command access is transferring successfully.
Science and monitoring stations look
I think that might be the first new thing I've seen in New Game Plus is that little scene with Callow just going, "Excuse me, excuse me." I don't remember that from the first playthrough.
For the log.
Guess I'll need to pay attention to the little stuff.
Things seem bad, but we've already beaten the odds, and we'll beat them again. You know it, I know it. So let's show them what we got.
Nexus Control, this is the Tempest, ident 2527, prepping to depart.
Departure vector verified, Tempest. Godspeed, Pathfinder. To Eos, then. What would have been our Habitat 1?
Alright, change my loadout here, and then I'm gonna make my way to Eos and
Maybe we can turn things around.
get that rolling. Okay, so I have a receiver, a barrel, and a stock equipped. Guess I need some more sniper rifle mods. Less than I expected. So I guess you start with level 10 armor, with the exception of your dad's helmet. It looks like you get a level 10 in your inventory. So I guess I'll start from there and just get rid of my old armor. Keep this for now. I guess I have to find that research center on Eos. Oh, never mind. There's the research center. Okay, so I'll find out in a second here. What exactly carries over? Wait, did I not equip that level 10 helmet? Looks like I did not. Alright, the moment of truth. Okay, cool. So your research from the previous games does carry over, which is good because you'll actually be able to make tier 10 weapons and armor probably this way through. That's weird. Doesn't have the bars unlocked saying that I have it researched to level 7. Interesting. Okay, cool. I can make my Valiant. For some reason, my game always gets really glitchy right after I'm at the Research and Development Center. Lasts for a few seconds, then goes back to normal. That Inferno sniper rifle wasn't very good. It had its advantage of not having to ever be reloaded and having to pick up ammo, but its damage and force knockback were depressingly small. So that'll wrap up episode 3 here. And for episode 4, we will be starting off on EOS and getting underway there.